Go ahead. All right, sweet. Okay, so yes, you want to be on this board for if you're looking to honestly have what? A team cycle bonus, right? So like that's really realistically like where this is going to come from. And then Dreamer Society top coaches of the week: Brittany, Emma, myself, Brianne, and Talia. Congratulations, ladies. And then Rise Up Dynasty Warrior Nation: Ashley, Caitlin, Yuli, Trisha, and Lauren. Really proud of you, ladies. And then Leaders on the Rise. This pretty much, actually, Brittany is now, well, she's qualifying 13-star diamond. So that is freaking amazing. So she is in a 6-week qualification for a 13-star diamond. Insane. But these are the leaders on the board. And then we also have surpassed 100 lives this month. I am so proud of you, ladies. 137 lives changed this month in July. And there's still tomorrow. And if you're, honestly, if you waiting to sign people up, I was just talking about this with one of my coaches today. If you're waiting to sign people up because you're too scared that you won't hit Success Club next month, I want you to sign those people up tomorrow. Don't do that, okay? Do not do that. Sign them up, because especially if you haven't hit Success Club, like you can still hit Success Club, and I'll probably do a total. I'll ask my assistant to do a total for tomorrow, like well, it'd be Saturday on the 1st, and we can update the boards for you guys. But if you haven't hit Success Club, hit Success Club, okay? You totally can. Did you new emeralds? We don't have any new emeralds. Announcements, again, this is our last team call, so just make sure that you are on the right call for next week, okay? I am going to give it to our guest speaker, Nicole Quick. I'm really excited to have her speak for us because she is she does work full time. She has 2 kids, and she wants to talk about how she makes coaching fit into that, also with an unsupportive spouse as well. So I'm really intrigued because I know that sometimes we have those spouses that just aren't really like 100%, and it does take time. So I'm really intrigued to hear that. So Nicole, are you on? I'm going to stop my share.
I'm here.
Okay, yay. Okay, so Nicole, you can give it a go ahead, take it away, introduce yourself, and so I'm going to mute myself, and ladies, take notes.
Hi, everybody. So I need Gabby to teach me how to work Canva Pro because I freaking pay for it every month, but can't make that stuff and then end up buying your stuff off Etsy. So I should just give up Pro and just buy all your stuff.
A lot of people literally are like, I canceled my Pro and now I'm just like buying stuff from you. And I'm like,
probably what I'm going to do. There's no point. And then I sent them to Heather. She's like, did you make that? I'm like, no, I fucking bought it.
That's me.
All right, guys. Hello. So I am Nicole Quick. I am the founder of Team Fit for Life. I am a 1-star diamond coach. I have been coaching for a little over 5 years. Like Gabby said, I have 2 children, and I love that little cutie in the camera right there. It's so cute. Normally mine are also right here, but my husband is off this week, which is why it was the perfect week for me to tell Gabby that I would do this, because I'm like, you need to take the children, which he was not happy about, but he did. So I have a 7-year-old girl and I have a 2-year-old. And then I work a very demanding full-time job. I am a regional manager for a very large corporate childcare center. So currently going through this crazy pandemic and in this nutty world that we are currently in, that job is even more crazy and more stressful. I want to know who on this call also works full-time as well as coaches. Anybody? Catherine does. All right, so a couple of you guys work full-time and coach. Who has children besides the little cutie in the screen? All right, and then who's married or boyfriend? And who has unsupportive husbands and boyfriends? Okay, all right. So 5 years ago, I was a year postpartum with my oldest daughter, and I had tried every fad diet out there: Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem, Jenny Craig, diet pills, you name it. Like, I did the walk away the pounds videos. Like, I did all the crazy nonsense. And I was miserable. I was about 50 pounds overweight. I was depressed. I hated every picture. I hated every outfit. I hated looking in the mirror. I hated my job. I hated my husband. Like, we were in massive credit card debt. I traveled a lot for work. He hated that. And every time I would travel, I would come home to something new. Like, I would come home to new appliances. I would come home to my house carpeted. And there was no money for that. So how were we paying for that? And I actually remember one day, looking in the mirror. I had put a bathing suit on for something, and I looked in the mirror and I was like, all right, like, honey, you got to do something about this, because I couldn't keep up with a toddler. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. Right. So I followed one of my best friends, Melissa. She had just had her second kid. She looked freaking phenomenal. And I was like, what are you doing? She's like, you have to do this with me. Try this 7-day shake challenge. Tried it, hated it. I was like, what are these things? They taste like fucking chalk. She was like, and I didn't talk to her. I didn't message her back for like a month. And she was like, where are you? Like, where did you go? And I was like, Melissa, I don't really know how you drink these things, because they taste like chalk. And she was like, no. Like, you totally mixed it wrong. You did it wrong. I was like, all right, tell me. Right. So she was like, you got to do this. You got to blend it, this, that, the third. Did it, loved it. She's like, you got to do the 21-day fix. You got to sign up to coach. So I actually remember laying in my bed with Emily, who at the time slept in my bed with me, the worst. And I said to my husband, I'm like, I'm going to do this thing with Melissa. I'm going to buy this challenge pack. It's like $160. At that time, it was literally, maybe it was 180. It was just shakes, I think I bought Pio. And I was like, and I'm going to sign up to coach. He's like, all right, first of all, you don't have time for that. You're not going to do anything with it, but we don't have $180, but go do you. I was like, all right, I'm gonna. So I bought it, and I hated Pio. Sorry. If any of you guys are Pio fans, Heather right there, she's my best friend. She loves that. Pio is just not for me. Not for me. It's too slow. I don't know what the hell she's doing. I don't bend like her. No, thank you. So then she's like, all right, this is when 21-day fix came out. You got to do 21-day fix. All right, sell me some more of these friggin' DVDs. Let's go. So I buy 21-day fix. That was it. I was hooked. I did a couple rounds. I think I started this whole thing, I was like 168 pounds. I got down to 127 by my daughter's second birthday. And I was like, that's it. Like, you sold me. And again, at the time, working full time, I have my second daughter. I gained 70 pounds with her. I'm 2 years into that journey. I've lost those 70 pounds. I'm still not back to where I was, but I've come to a whole new mindset that it's not about the weight. It's just about feeling better, right? So I am a huge stress eater. I'm an emotional eater. All the things. I say this to my girls all the time. I'm a crier. So if I start to cry, don't feel bad. I just cry a lot. I'm a big baby. Ask Heather, she'll tell you. But I was always one of those people that never felt like I was part of a community. I was a cheerleader. I was in the choir. I was in the drama club. I was in a sorority. Shit. I paid for my friends, right? That's what they say. Heather, she's my sorority sister. We didn't know each other then. Beachbody brought us together. Now she's my best friend in the world. But nothing has ever truly made me feel like I was part of something till this. They're my friends. They're my family. Like, this is what brings me, this is my sanity right here. So how the heck do I do all that, and that's why I do all that. That's the story I share. But how do I make it all work? So I will tell you that if you're someone that has a full-time job, and if you're someone that has children and whatever else, it doesn't matter. If you want this, if this is something that's important to you, you're going to find the time, the way, the why to make this all work. So for a while, and this is pre-pandemic, I was getting up at 5:30 every morning. And I'll tell you this, I was sleeping on a couch because my husband hates when the alarm goes off at 5:30 in the morning. So I was sleeping on my living room couch with a 5:30 alarm set, with the monitor next to me, and I was getting up at 5:30, I was doing my power hour, I was doing my workout, and then I was getting myself ready for work. Then I get my 2 kids up and ready and out the house. I drop them off at childcare, and then so I oversee, at the time I oversaw 24 centers. Now I oversee 33. So times that by teachers, owners, management, parents. It's a lot. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love training. I love education. I'm a teacher by trade. I went to school for my elementary ed degree. I am not a nutritionist or a dietitian or any of that by any means. This is something that I simply found and became passionate about because of everything that Beachbody stands for and everything that this community is all about. And so it usually takes me anywhere from an hour and 10 to get to some of my centers. Guess what I was doing? If I wasn't on a call for work or if I didn't have to check in with my centers, I was listening to the recordings of the National Wake Up Calls. I was listening to podcasts, listening to books on tape. I was, don't do this while driving, stopping at red lights, sending voice messages to my coaches, sending voice messages to my customers. And then when I'm at the schools, I'm there. Like, I can't really do much. So if you'll notice, majority of my stories are like 6 to 9 a.m. and then you won't hear from me again till 6:30 to like 9:30 p.m. when the schools are closed, because I have to work my corporate job. Some of you may have jobs where, during your lunch break, you can do things 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. So I typically, if I don't get up in the morning, I don't always do like the typical power hour. I was, though, doing those power hours when I was furloughed, because I was furloughed for 11 weeks during the pandemic. I was doing those the power hours that are the 9-1, and then there's one at night, I think. Those were awesome, and those forced me to sit down and like focus, even if I wasn't exactly following along with what they were doing. They taught me to sit down and focus. So I think the biggest thing that you can take from all of that nonsense I just spewed at you is that you have to find what fits your schedule. So if you want this and you work 8 to 8 or whatever it is, then you got to get your ass up at 5. Or if you're not a morning person, well, then guess what you're doing at 8 o'clock when your day ends and after you put the kids to bed? Then you're doing your power hour, then you're doing your workout, then you're taking your shower, and maybe you're going to bed at 11, 12 o'clock at night. But you've got to find what works for you. Or if you have that hour lunch break and that's where you can do stuff, that's where you do it. If you can stick AirPods in while you're folding laundry, like I try to, Heather's big at saying to me, I hate being on the phone when the kids are around. Involve the kids. So if you have your kids, involve them. I do this too much, but I love following Emily Fava. She has her little girl like baking. She stirs her Energize in the morning. Like, she involves her, right? And my two I do Energize dance parties every morning when they're awake. Oh my God. Emily likes to make her own. She's like, wait, mommy, before you scramble it, I need to do my own. And she likes to get in the mix. So involve your children, pick your schedule, and then use the tools we have. Hell, I am not opposed to paying for my stuff. I buy Gabby's stuff. I buy Bailey's stuff. I buy Momtrepreneur. I have a virtual assistant that I now pay, and she schedules my shit because I ain't got time to do that. Like, I am not, and now that I am making the money that I'm making, like, I'm not afraid to do that. And the $40, $50 a month that I pay my virtual assistant, I'm okay with that because she does a lot of it. Heather now, thankfully, she's my best friend. She's my partner in crime. She's my success partner. We do it all together, right? We run our challenge groups together. So and thank God she just had a newborn, but she got laid off from her full-time job. So Beachbody is her full-time gig now. So she helps me a ton. She creates the schedules for our team calls. She doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to send her the Canva link to start doing the monthly recognition boards. So find that person who can be your person, and we balance each other out. You know, she'll call me and say, okay, what are we doing for August? And I'll blurt some random crap out. Okay, great. Now we got to plan it, right? So we balance each other out. So find your person. If you don't already have your success partner, find that person who can be that partner for you, that can balance out and do the things that you can't do. You know, and so talking about too, having, I feel bad because I'm missing all the chat, so I don't know if you guys are asking me stuff. A lot of I will tell you too, personal development falls through the cracks for me. So I took a random day off yesterday, and I was laying in the pool, and instead of having music on, I put a podcast on. I try to listen to stuff in the car. I try to read like 5 to 10 minutes every morning. But that definitely is something that falls through the crack for me. I have Streak. Again, my virtual assistant sets that up for me. I don't do it. I'm terrible at technology. I am huge pencil paper, so I use the Success Club tracker. I printed a bunch of them. I had it bounded at Staples, and this is my Bible. I love notebooks. I love pencil paper. So like that's my jam. That's kind of how I track. But I think it's important for you guys to find the way that you best track. Like Heather is Google Streak. She's got her spreadsheets and her lists. I am very pencil paper. Both work. You got to find your way. I love like things like this. This is like $5 at Target, where I list out like all my work calls for the week. I color code it, my Beachbody calls. What is your go-to income producing activity on the days you feel like the kids aren't cooperating? Again, I involve them. Like Emily's favorite thing to do is work out with me, make my shake my Energize. Like, and here's the thing, guys. People are choosing you to be your coach because of who you are, right? So I say this all the time. I am the hot mess mother with 2 kids just trying to figure my shit out. I am not perfect. I will never be perfect. Guys, I worked out 4 days in a row this week. I haven't done that in probably a month. My life has just been a shambles. So they're going to choose me because I'm not going to ride them. I'm not going to yell at them if they miss a day. I am going to help them and support them in any way possible. They're going to choose me because I am a stress eater. I am an emotional eater. I am a mom of 2, and how the heck do you do it? I'm not perfect. I'm not here to be a size 2 or to strut my stuff in my bikini because it's just not realistic for me. Versus Heather, who is like, let's go, get your ass up. It is 6:30. Your alarm went off 5 minutes ago. It is time to work out. And some people need that, right? So that is why they're choosing you. So, you know, when you talk about income producing activities, like I'm attracting those people that are like, wow, she has 2 kids. She's got a toddler literally up her rear end, and she's still like going at it with the weights, and or she's using the kid as a weight, and or she's at my feet crying and I'm singing Baby Shark while I'm watching Megan Davies on the screen telling me no garbage reps, you know, and she's screaming at me on the floor. And it is what it is, right? You know, I'm very big on making that personal connection. I tell my team all the time, like, oh, sorry, Marley, I didn't realize he was sitting there, and I am not using child-friendly language at points. What was I saying? What did I say, Heather?
Now I can't think.
I do that to her a lot. What did I say? What was I thinking? What was about to come out of my mouth?
Oh, you're talking about the team and what you talked to us about.
I tell my team all the time, I don't sell anyone anything. I am not a saleswoman, although my sister-in-law tells me that I should be. I don't sell anyone anything. I am here to find out what you need, because Melissa found out what I needed. She knew that I was miserable. She knew that I was stressed, overworked, tired. She knew that my marriage was in the shitter. We were in therapy. Like, she knew that I needed something for me. So when you talk about having that, yes, when you talk about having that, I'll get to that in 2 seconds. When you talk about having that unsupportive spouse or that unsupportive boyfriend or even unsupportive friends, unsupportive parents, there are haters out there. And I also tell my team all the time that, guys, if you're putting out there something that you love, something that is life changing, something that has done all the things that it has done for you, if you're putting that out there and someone comes to you and puts you down for that, bye, Felicia. Like, you're not my person. You are not my friend. I don't care who it is. You are not my friend. You don't have to buy anything from me. You don't ever have to do one movement of an exercise or taste 1 ounce of a shake or energize or whatever. But be supportive of what I'm doing for me. And if you're not supportive of what I'm doing for me, I don't care. Unfollow me. Don't talk to me. Don't read my story. Don't watch my stories. Don't read my posts. I don't care. But I'm going to put it out there for the people that I know I can help. My husband, he won't touch a shake. He eats McDonald's every day. He won't take a lick of Energize. He'd rather drink a Red Bull. He won't, like, he has said to Heather so many times, because she's certified in Turbo Kick and Quarter Force, oh yeah, I'll do one of your workouts. Never. He will never step foot in anything. And that's fine. And guess what? I don't do this for him. I do this for me. This is mine. This is my sanity. This is my passion. This is my extra income. I don't care. And that's a shitty thing to say, but I don't care. Like, yes, I want him to be involved. You know, it was actually funny. My daughter the other day, we were talking about during Summit, we were talking about Summit and who wants to walk on stage. And Emily's like, Mommy, remember when I watched you walk on stage? Because he actually turned it on for her. And they watched me when I walked across the stage last year in Indy. And that's probably the only like time where I was like, wow, he actually cared enough for me to say, hey, you can watch this virtually. Maybe you should turn this on. I did actually, because he doesn't really know what's in my Beachbody account. He wanted a car last week. His car died. I said, all right, I'll give you money towards the down payment. And I made sure to tell him that it came from the Beachbody account. My husband is very money. He likes things, right? I like things. We like things. He likes things. So for me to win him over is to show him, and I hate that, but again, we're all in this business to make money at some point, right? That's what he needs to see, the money coming in, and that I think will eventually win him over. Gabby was asking about my inviting process. So Heather and I actually have kind of a system where we kind of talk about one thing at a time, because I don't always like coming at people with too much at once. So we typically start our challenge groups either the first or second Monday of the month, depending on how the weeks fall. These past couple of months have been weird because there's those 5th weeks. So we use like the last week of the month and the first 2 weeks of the month typically to invite to our challenge groups, talk to groups that we're doing, and hit Success Club for the month. And then we use that 3rd week of the month to do our breadcrumbing, I can't talk today, posts for coaching. Because what we do is our first 3 Tuesdays of the month are team calls. Our last Tuesday of every month is a business opportunity call. So we used to run like the 3-day sneak peeks, the 5-day sneak peeks. We would do what is coaching happy hours. But we've started running, how long do you think we've been doing it? Like the last 3-4 months? I think last 3-4 months. I don't remember where we heard it. Gabby, maybe we heard it from you. But so we do business opportunity calls. So that third week of the month is when we talk about mostly coaching, and we drop little things here and there throughout the month. Every Thursday we talk about payday. Every time we bring on a new coach, we blow them up, make a big deal out of it. Every time we bring on somebody new to the Fit Studio, we make a big deal about it. But that third week is when we do our main coaching invites and invite to that business opportunity call. Of course, if people sign up throughout the month before that, we don't wait for that business opportunity call, but that's our main one time a month to do that. And yeah, we use the PDF that Bailey created. That's in the background of the call, but then Heather and I are really just talking from the heart about why we love coaching and what we do as coaches. What else? What did I miss?
I think that was, there are some, Catherine asked, what do you say to your significant other when you're trying to explain what you do as a coach and why? Did you go over that already? I don't know if you did.
I don't think I did. So, I mean, it's funny because there are days where he's like, well, don't you have a call tonight? Or, don't you and Heather have to do something? Or like, so he'll say it, or like, I'll be on with her and he'll start BSing. Or he'll say, didn't you do X, Y, and Z? And then there's days where I'm like, all right, I need you to take the kids so I can do a call. Or you had to get up at 7 a.m. on your day off and work out. Well, yeah, I did because last night he was mimicking her in the background. So it's very different. Like, he bought me a ring light for Christmas. So he'll do things like that. When I say like, I need better lighting for my pictures, or I need better lighting for my videos, I need a ring light. He bought me a ring light for Christmas. So there are little things that he does that support it. What I think our problem has always been, because it comes to this with my full-time job too, and I take blame for some of this as well, is he feels that this is another thing that takes me away from him and the kids, and that this is another thing that I put before him and the kids. So I have to find a way to balance it out. So like today, for example, I made sure to tell him, listen, I purposely scheduled this because you were off this week. I knew that you could, help with the kids. I let him finish what he was doing. I made sure the baby was in a clean diaper, pajamas. I had her, and then at like 5 minutes to 8, I'm like, all right, can you go put her to bed so I can hop on? So as long as I am spending time with him, as long as I'm like prepping him along, and then I explain like, Gabby's gonna do a call for me in return, like. So there are certain days where if I explain it to him and I kind of lay it all out, and it's like a you do for me, I do for you, and knowing that he just got money for a new car from this is my leverage right now to say, okay, you're gonna let me do what I need to do because I just did something for you. I haven't found my husband is we've been married 9 years and together almost 20. And he's a hard nut to crack. I don't know if I've figured him out yet. I sometimes say we have a camera in the basement, so he probably listens to all of this stuff after I'm done, but whatever. Or he's listening to me right now from upstairs. There's a camera over there that watches the kids down here. Whatever. It's almost like you have to catch him in the right mood. But I don't know. I think it's a matter with a lot of these guys of just figuring out what makes them tick. So I know it's the money that makes him tick. So on the good weeks where there's good money coming in, he is more on board. When I balance it out of like, it drives him crazy when there's piles of laundry everywhere. So I know if I fold some laundry and put it away before like a Tuesday call, then he's not as cranky. If I get the kids in bed prior to the call, he's not as cranky about it. But I think too, like, if it were to get really, I don't know, I think if it were to get really bad, and obviously I wouldn't end a marriage over this, but if you know going into something that you don't have someone, and I think too, if they're not supportive of this, they're probably not supportive of a lot of things, and that's something you have to look at prior to getting married and having children with someone. If they're not supporting your passions and your dreams, maybe not the best person for you. If they're just kind of a jerk about it, they might just be a jerk and not understand it. Um,
Yeah, I think that what it comes down to is 100% communication. I can tell you this from personal experience because I was married, and I would like to say, like, Lauren was like, you were talking about this, and Lauren was like, was Nick supportive? And I was like, you know what? What? I don't want to say he was, but he was. You know what I mean? Like, I think that some men are just very money driven and need to see that this is real. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because it was like, I was married to him, and I think it's a lot easier for me, who now I have a boyfriend, but was already doing this is my thing. Like, when a new thing comes in, it's like, no, you can't tell me what to do. Like, I've been doing this before you know what I mean? But when you are married, and, and it might be different for some people, and that's totally fine. But when you are married, it's different, and you're starting this whole new thing, and you're transforming your life and your seasons of life. It's very hard for your significant other to kind of be like, well, like, don't forget about me. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, don't take time away from me. You know what I mean? Like, I actually remember, and I want to actually, I have never shared this, because I remember, this is pre-Beachbody, because I used to do another MLM, and pre-Beachbody, my husband, ex-husband now, went to the gym. He goes to the gym still, whatever. And he came back home one day and was like, oh, one of my friends was asking me, like, from the gym, if he could, like, wanted me to come on this opportunity call. And I was like, absolutely not. Like, I told him absolutely not, because I didn't want him to be a part of something else. Like, I was like so against it. And it's so crazy that I remember this now, but it was almost like I didn't want him to have any less time, because I knew from being in MLM the work that it takes. Do you know what I mean? So you really have to just put it all into perspective. But at the same time, I loved Beachbody, and I loved being a coach when I was married. And I was not going to let him crush my dreams. 100%. And I'm divorced now. That's not the reason I'm divorced. Partially could be why, who knows? Because I didn't ask for the divorce. But you know what? I don't care, because I'm like so much happier. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, also comes from another situation. It's like, no one expects to get a divorce. No one wants a divorce. Emma and I did not want a divorce. It's not what we like pictured our lives at, however. Well, I was divorced at 28. Emma probably, I don't know, the same kind of, you know what I mean? And it wasn't because of Beachbody, but it might have been because we changed, like, as women, like, we change. And sometimes when you make changes in your life, and when you change, like, who you are for the good, sometimes people don't want to join you in that positive change. Friends don't want to join you. Family don't want to join you, because they're stuck in that unhappy place in their life. And you are moving on, and you are starting to find joy and happiness in your life. And that is exactly what it is. And at the same time, I am so proud of you, Nicole, for sticking through that. Like, because for me, if there was laundry on the floor, I'd be like, go fucking do it yourself. But I'm not in your relationship, so that probably wouldn't work, and I'd probably be divorced with your husband. But you know what I mean? But, at the same time, it's like, yeah, like, some men do have to see that. And, he will eventually, like, when you do get like those bonuses or like other things, and maybe he will come around. Hopefully he does, because this business is freaking awesome. And, you do have women around you who are just so supportive. And I mean, that, you've been in it. And I'm just really honestly proud of you for just being as strong as you are, because a lot of women would quit because of that. And, you know, I think that your strength shows a shit ton of resilience and a shit ton of like, you know, like I'm doing this for me. You don't have to join me, and that's okay. We are allowed to have separate, you know, likes and dislikes. You know what I mean? Because my ex-husband did not want to work out with me. It was like pulling teeth, you know, and I didn't force him. I was like, this is what I'm doing, you know, whatever. And he didn't drink Shakeology. He didn't drink the pre-workout, you know, so I know where you're coming from. You know what I mean? Like, I know. But yeah. And actually, you guys, Ashley Molstad, John did not want Ashley to post at all in the house, like ever. So if you ever go back, you can actually find it on YouTube and listen to John and Ashley's like story about how he wasn't supportive in the beginning and how he literally didn't want her to even post on her stories in the house. Okay. Like, it's literally crazy. So, and look where they are now. So, so it goes to show you that they do come around. But, yeah, does anyone have any questions, or do you want to like run off that, Nicole? I don't know. I just kind of went on a rant. Sorry.
No, I think that, you know, and like I said, and I don't know, you know, your marriage or why you guys got divorced, but, you know, Heather tells me all the time that he's intimidated. He feels that, and this is probably what it is for a lot of them. Anything that's taking your time and attention away from them, because even we feel that way, right? When they're doing something else and it's like, hi, me, talk to me. Like yesterday was our anniversary and he was at my mother-in-law's house till like 10 o'clock at night. He got home and I was like, I spent my anniversary with Heather. I was like, hello, hi, me. But it works both ways, right? So when there's something taking your attention away from them, so, you know, when we were in therapy, he used to say to the therapist all the time, she's always on her fucking phone. If she's not on her phone for work, she's on her phone for Beachbody, or she's texting, or she's talking, or she's selling a challenge pack. Like, but so I said to him the one day, I'm like, do you realize that sometimes when I'm on my phone, I'm just like lost in the rabbit hole of friggin' TikTok? Like, I'm not even working. I'm watching other people make random stupid videos. Like, you know, like I'm not always doing something for Beachbody on the phone. I'm just lost in the world of social media because I can't watch one more friggin' episode of Paw Patrol. Whatever my children have on the TV at that moment.
Yeah, I think that the phone thing is definitely 100% an issue. I know that was for me, and sometimes, you know, like I will even, you know, the one thing that I have to say is I wish I would have, when I decided to do Beachbody, I actually told my husband, I don't want to coach. I don't want to do any of this. I don't want to. And then I started to coach. And what I did was I secretly started to coach and didn't have that conversation with him. And if I would have sat down with him and said, hey, I think I want to do this, like whatever, XYZ, it would have been a lot different, you know. And now going into a relationship with Brandon, I had that same mindset. I was like, I have to have this conversation with him and say, I am going to be on my phone a lot. This phone pays my bills. This phone is my life. Like, it's not like I'm personally not playing games on my phone. I'm not watching, I'm watching TikToks, but I deleted TikTok, but you know what I mean? Like, and when I'm with Brandon, I am not really on my phone. Like, I really am not. Like, we've made that promise to each other. When I'm with him, I'm not on my phone. And if I ever do have my phone, I will, you know, when we're in the car, sometimes he'll be talking and I find myself where I'm on my phone and then like, I'm like, I don't want to do this. You know what I mean? Like, I already had my work days. I already had my sessions, my power hours, right? Like, now is this time for him and I have to respect that. And so a lot of the times, if it is something where a coach or someone, you know, that right away, whatever, or like the end of the month, I will say to Brandon, hey, can I do this really quickly? Like, I'm going to be on my phone for a quick second. Like, if you say something, I'm probably not going to listen. Like, I am 100% communication with him. So that's another thing that you have to have. You have to have that communication with your significant other. If you don't, they're going to resent you. They're going to resent the business. They are not going to be supportive because you're not communicating with them what you're actually doing. Because to be honest, my husband probably just thought I was on my phone doing nothing, when in reality I was on my phone working my business. You know what I mean? And so you have to, yes, involve them also. I think that's also really key, you know. But I think that's really what it comes down to. So yeah. Ashley, since I was furloughed, every time Colby comes home from work, I tell him that I did what I did. Yeah. And communicating what you do. A lot of times Brandon will be like, what did you do today? And I'm like, oh, I worked. And then I'm like, he probably thinks I literally do nothing, because honestly, that's what my ex-husband thought I did all day. Honestly, I still think that my parents think that that's what I do all day. I swear to God. I'm like, do you guys not realize that, like, I literally have a fucking business? So, you know, and
people only see the fluff.
yeah, people only see the fluff on Instagram. And so my husband at the time was only watching my stories. And actually, I blocked him from watching my stories. I blocked him from watching my stories because I was literally so annoyed with him saying, well, you did nothing all day and, you know, just on your phone all day. And I was like, excuse me? Like, no. And I would get in defense mode and trying to like convince him and do all these things, when in reality, if I would have just sat down and been like, you know, I really would appreciate you, instead of saying to me, you know, oh, you didn't do anything all day. What did you do all day? What did you do? You know, like, I was at work all day. You know, when I say how was work, you could say how was work to me too. And that's communication, you know, like what, and then I would say, I did this, you know, I had this call, I did whatever, right? And I think also another thing I want to share this with you guys, because Nicole, same thing, going through it, whatever. I remember this, and I called Emma hysterical because I had earned my very first biggest paycheck I had ever earned in Beachbody. It was $300, you guys. But to me, it was huge, because I was then able to pay my car payment, and that's exactly what I wanted. And I remember texting my boyfriend. I remember texting my husband, Nick, and I was like, oh my God, babe, I got my highest paycheck. Like, I'm so happy. Like, look, I did him. Instead of saying, I'm so happy for you, you know, congratulations, this is so amazing, like, whatever, he said, good, now you can start paying some bills. And it crushed me. It literally crushed me to where I was hyperventilating and called Emma, and I was on the floor because I just wanted him to be happy. I wanted him to be excited. I wanted him to see that I was working my ass off. And instead, I felt manipulated. I felt like he was just not like everything that I was doing was for nothing, you know, and it crushed me. And it was really at that moment where I was just like, do I want to be in this? Like, is this what I want? And I stayed. And yeah, he belittled me for that I did. And, you know, again, like, sometimes it could be money driven, and sometimes it can't be money driven. And it might just be that they're just so resentful to you that they don't even care. And, you know, I love this call because it's real, and, you know, you're going to have those significant others that just don't agree with you, and you got to work through it. And I see it all the time where we have coaches that come on and they're like, well, my significant other doesn't really like agree with what I'm doing. And it breaks my heart, because you should always do what's best for you, no matter what, right? Like, if this brings you joy and this brings you happiness, no one, including your spouse, should crush your dreams. You're going to live a life of unhappiness and unfulfillment if you don't do that. Okay? And it does, like, good for you for going to therapy. I wish I would have went to therapy when I was married. Maybe it would have come out different, but everything happens for a reason. But yeah, I just wanted to share those little tidbits with you, because I think that everyone's story is a little bit different, and like, I can definitely relate to Nicole, and I can definitely, you know, relate to Cassie and everyone. And now I can relate to Ashley and Colby, because I'm, you know, with Brandon, he's probably too much supportive, but you know what I mean? But yeah, so thank you for sharing that. Did anyone have any questions for her? Or Emma, want to ask anything? I don't know. I love this. I'm like really happy we did.
Look at him.
What happened? Wait, what did you say? Sorry.
No, I was saying, look behind Emma.
Well, it's funny because Gabby, you were like, Emma, do you have any questions? He's like, I do. I was like, he's kind of gassed today. He's home now.
Oh, what happened?
Just a hoverboard accident. He's fine.
Poor Bentley. But yeah. So thank you so much for doing
you're
this.
welcome.
Like it means the world. And yeah, and if you guys have any other questions.
The second I told Heather we were swapping calls, I think she fell off the chair.
Why?
I don't like, I was so excited because I love watching you and following you. And ever since like we all kind of like got together in the beginning of this year, like, and I have to say thank you because I feel like our businesses have changed so much since we've all kind of gotten together. That Boss Babe group has been like phenomenal and such a game changer. And when like we broke off into different pods and all this kind of stuff, and like I said, I feel like I've definitely stepped up as a leader. When Nicole couldn't be there, I was like, all right, I can't wait for you anymore. Bye. I was like, I just took off, and it's paid off because, you know, it's worked for both of us and both of our teams. And we've just been doing so well this year. And like I said, I have to say thank you, and I also think our team, and I'm hoping all of them will get on, will relate a lot to you because we do have a lot of younger girls. Nicole and I are like the old farts. We've got kids and all this kind of stuff. I still think we're cool. Like we're cool moms, and you know.
Moms are cool.
Yeah, I know.
My stepdad's birthday party the other day.
And you know, I just have to like say thank you, and you have a beautiful story, and I love watching you and following you. And I'm just like, oh, why can't we be cool like Gabby? And
No, you are so cool. Stop. Oh my gosh, you're so silly. Oh my gosh.
So, but thank you, and I really appreciate it. I can't wait for you guys to, you know, talk on our call too. So thank you.
Of course. I love swapping calls. And honestly, you guys, anyone else on this call, like I love swapping calls. And like, I think it's really great because you get to hear from different people. And if there's ever like someone that you want to hear from, or you're following a coach or vice versa, whatever, please let Emma, or if Heather, if your coaches are on here, whatever, let them know who you want to hear from, because we do obviously like, we now Star Diamonds, not to toot our own horns or anything, but we do have access to that where we can like ask those coaches like, hey, could you swap a call, whatever. That's part of like the cool, you know, part of being Star Diamond, whatever, and why we want you guys to be Star Diamond, because you get access to all that. But we want that for you guys. We want you guys, if you're following someone that you're like, oh my gosh, I love this girl, like I want her to speak on a call, then definitely ask your upline and ask them like, hey, can you reach out to them, see if they can speak on a call for us. So yeah. Okay, cool. So we'll end 10 minutes early. And Nicole, thank your husband for letting you do this. Like seriously, tell him that Gabby said thank you from the bottom of her heart. And
tell
you guys,
him there are other men watching children so that he doesn't feel alone. Because I have some, I mean, one's in here, but I have another one out there. So I feel you.
yes. Thank you.
I think, guys, if you take away anything from this, it's if you love this, no matter what is happening in your life, you will and can find a way to make it work. No one is too busy, and no one is unsupported in this, because you have an entire world right here that is supporting you and loving on you, including us who don't know any of you.
Yes, exactly. That's a great takeaway. I love it. That's a great takeaway because it's so true. So yeah, 100%. Okay, thank you so much again. Thank him. And I will see your team next week, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Next week, cool. And you guys
are all welcome. Our calls are Tuesday nights at 8:30, but you're all welcome to come to that too.
Yeah, of course. I'll post it in my team pages and stuff as well. And Dreamer Society, I love you, and don't be afraid to still contact us. We're separating team calls. We're not separating for life, okay? But love you guys so much, and go enjoy the rest of your night, and go hit Success Club if you haven't. Love you. Bye.
Bye.